What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here. So, my Glock is obviously in pieces right now, and I'm about to show you the craziest video that you have ever seen with a Glock, to where a part blows up and it keeps functioning, and it ejects the part, but the firearm keeps functioning, and it was so weird because a couple things happened where, a shell came over the side of the barrier, hit me in the head, and so I was confused by that, and then I saw something that looked like it hit my gun and bounced off. But in reality, it was a part ejecting from my firearm that shouldn't have been ejecting from my firearm. My buddy noticed it. We were just sort of confused in the moment. And so we kept running it, and the handgun kept running. So extremely odd circumstances. I've had a squib load before. It didn't feel like a squib load. So that's what sort of threw me off. Typically speaking, you're not going to have any problems going forward with something like that. And as you could see, it's sort of a testament that Glock runs even with a broken part. It was sort of crazy. I don't know if that would ever happen again or if this is a one-on-one thing. But as you can see, this is in pieces. And I'm actually out of town right now, which is interesting because I typically travel with two firearms. And there's been times I haven't traveled with two firearms. So it actually paid off traveling with another backup everyday carry option that, while shooting at the range today, ran flawlessly. Is this my best option in the world? Of course it isn't. It's the big freaking Ruger. It's a beast. But at the same time, this is not what I plan on carrying. I wanted to carry my 27 with unlimited capacity, crazy foot-pound energy, and just a beast of a setup. But obviously, I'm stuck without it. In this video, you're going to see the craziest series of events. Check it out. His shell, right? Right?
I think so.
What the hell? We're about to find out.
I thought I was a fucking... Guide rod go flying?
So, this is a Glock 27, like I said. All OEM parts, except for the KKM barrel, which, typically speaking, is better than an OEM Glock 27 barrel. And then, the only other aftermarket part was this guide rod right here. And this was a Wolf. W-O-L-F-F. Not trying to put them on blast, but that's exactly what happened. So this is how your guide rod looks. Obviously, this part presses against the front of your slide. And it's a dual recoil spring. See the smaller spring and the larger spring. Then you have this little piece right here that pokes through at the end. And then you have this piece. And this is the piece that broke. Oops, sorry. I got this thing flipped around. Boom. So that's the piece that broke. You can clearly see where it happened. And I try all sorts of guide rods. Last time we were at the range, we had like 4 or 5 different brands of guide rods with us. It's something I just like to test and mess around with, and typically I don't have issues like this. But as you can see, it's sheared right off. And as you can see, this round part is what sticks up against your barrel right here. Now what gets even crazier is I'm going to play the video again for you. And I want you to watch that this piece gets ejected out of the firearm. Absolutely ejected, which is crazy. For it to eject a round, a casing this direction, and then a guide rod this direction, and another round to be falling. But if you pay attention, the firearm kept running without this piece. So it was literally just a spring pushed up here, and then this back of the spring pushed up here. No support in the middle, keeping it straight, and it ran for the remaining 5, 6, 7 rounds, whatever it ended up being. So in a self-defense encounter, I sort of would have gotten lucky for that one, but chances are that's not going to happen again. I'll show you a little bit more from the range. Sheared right off. breaks or blows up on it. So like I said, I actually traveled with 4 firearms, so I would have been fine. One was a Taurus G2C, one's a Taurus Tuck 22, then my Ruger LCP, which I've been carrying in the pocket, and this. So if I didn't have my LCP or the other 2 handguns, I would have been stuck with nothing. I guess I could try and find a place nearby to where I'm staying that would sell an OEM guide rod, because let's just face it here. That's a lesson learned, is OEM guide rod. Even though this is one of the higher end, better quality, they make competition guide rods. These have been tested and used for years by people. One thing I will say is, which sort of hurts my heart a little bit, is I did buy this off of eBay. And meanwhile, it wasn't a fake or false part, but at the same time, it was faulty. I don't know if they knew about this. I don't know if they saw cracking before and sold it. So I guess you could say that is one of the downsides to eBay. Now, if you ever saw my purchases on eBay, it'd probably blow your mind. And out of all of them, this is my first problem with a part from them. And I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of parts. So I still trust eBay. I still trust the average American, the average person you're buying from. I don't think this was malicious or anything like that. But at the same time, one thing I did notice as well is the package. If you see how a Wolf Spring comes, it's like that little square business card looking thing up top, and then there's a little clear package below. I have multiple of these, and I've never had an issue. But the packaging looked worn out and older. Even though it was brand new, it wasn't used. I did question why I got this guide rod for so extremely cheap. It was really odd, because Wolf guide rods are typically more expensive than your average guide rod, and I got this for about half the price of your average guide rod. So it was really odd. But once again, I'm getting a brand new part, which, you know, has typically ran for me. So crazy video, crazy to catch this on film. Actually pretty cool to see that the Glock kept cycling. Didn't get a catastrophic failure. My firearm broke right apart when I actually focused and saw what I needed to do to get to come apart. It would have lasted for the extra 6 or 7 rounds, whatever it ended up being. Now, next time, chances are this guide rod's not going to eject. I don't know if that's something that was built into the design of Glock, of where they locate certain parts and certain things inside the handgun, but I doubt it. It was just really cool, and it threw us for a loop. Like I said, I saw that shell that came from the people shooting rifle next to me, and that came over top because their dividers don't go all the way to the roof. I got hit by that. And so when I saw something fall, it looked like to me that a shell just hit my firearm, which happens, and bounced off. My buddy thought something else happened, and he ended up being right. And then you hear me say, well, I guess we're going to find out, because if my guide rod broke, like I have an XDS in 45 that at like 1,300 rounds, the guide rod broke. And all it did was, you know, lock up the slide, right? The guide rod was out of place, you know, and then you send it in and they take care of it. And actually, I was supposed to change that on the XDS at 1,300 rounds, or at 1,000 rounds. And I ended up taking it to 1,300 rounds, and what they said would happen, happened. So that was on me. That was not the Springfield. They give you instructions, you need to follow it. But in this case, really disappointing to see. But like I said, really cool to catch on camera, and a lesson learned. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk your crap down below. Thanks for watching.